Good afternoon. This is Wednesday, September 8th. We're in the Express Studio at the Community Media Center. I'm Jim Mayola, and it is my privilege to be interviewing Mr. Ted Dix. Hi, Ted.
Hi, Jim.
How are you today?
Okay, fine. How are you?
That's good. I am doing wonderfully. Ted, you were born in Carroll County?
Mm-hmm.
Born and raised?
Mm-hmm.
Whereabouts?
Well, on Old Washington Road, which is in the village of Shipley.
Okay.
It used to have a post office, but it no longer does. But it's down on Old Washington Road between Salem Bottom Road and Nicodemus Road.
Okay.
Off of 97 down there. Conceived and born in a house right across from a little Methodist church called Zion United Methodist Church, where they have their famous picnics and chicken dinners.
Mm-hmm.
I was actually born at Mercy Hospital in Baltimore.
And what year, may I ask, would that have been?
1973.
1973.
October 6, 1973.
Okay. And so what grade school did you go to?
Let's see. Oh, I spent kindergarten at the Carroll Christian Academy,
Okay.
which is out on 140, and then I went to St. John's Catholic School
Mm-hmm.
through 4th grade.
Mm-hmm. Now, was that when it was on Main Street? No. But
It had already moved
it had already moved.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
by that point. That was the early 80s. And then we moved, it was for some special ed reasons, I guess, some reading difficulties or something, but anyway, we all moved to the public school system then. So
Mhm.
I went to Robert Moton Elementary School.
Mm-hmm.
And from there, West Middle School, and then Westminster High School.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The new high school.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was built in 72. So.
Right, yeah.
And I was there 20 years after that. So
Yeah, cool. Okay.
I graduated in 91.
Okay, you're a youngster. Okay, so you
Sometimes.
you came of age then, I guess, in the early 80s.
Yeah, I guess that was sort of my
Yeah.
the
So-
Reagan administration.
Yeah. Okay. So as a youngster in the 70s, what kind of things did you do for entertainment?
Well, Shipley was pretty much a country area at the time,
Mhm.
so we did a lot of walking around and riding our bicycles
Mhm.
and things like that. So I mean, it really was country at that time.
Mhm. Did you play with the other kids in the neighborhood, that kind of
Mhm.
thing? Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Every evening, and this was in the days when, like in the summer, after we woke up, we would pretty much find our friends, and we were gone all day.
Mm-hmm.
Parents didn't know where we were at
Yeah.
all. Yeah.
Yeah, but it was safe.
But it was safe. Yeah,
Yeah.
everything was fine. I mean,
Yeah, and you were having a good time out there playing, and you'd come home when you were hungry.
hungry. Yeah, when we
Yeah.
knew we were hungry, we
Yeah.
came home and.
Yeah. Now, was Westminster considered? Now there was no 97 didn't exist, did it?
It did. Yeah.
Did it?
Mhm.
Okay, yeah.
97 was there. Everything was there that is there now.
Oh, that's right. Sure. Yeah,
Mhm.
the bypass was all there. Everything's there.
Mhm.
Okay. Did you consider? I mean, you lived in the country. Did you consider Westminster the big city, or was it just town?
No, I never really did consider Westminster a big city
Yeah.
because we went to an optometrist in Towson.
Mm-hmm.
So we had experience, going to larger areas,
Mhm.
and we knew that Westminster was not a big city.
Right.
So.
So you get down to Baltimore on occasion.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And my mother was a violinist, and she had a string quartet, so they
Oh.
would perform around Baltimore, D.C.
Mhm.
areas.
Music has always been a big piece of your life, hasn't it?
Mhm.
Yeah, you
It
mentioned
sure has.
your mom was a violinist, so she played professionally.
Mm-hmm. And she still does. She's in the North Arkansas Symphony Orchestra right now.
Mhm.
So
Wow.
she's still playing.
How about your dad?
Well, he was sort of an amateur musician,
Mhm.
and he played a little clarinet and some piano,
Mm-hmm.
and a little violin. He has gotten to the point now where his fretting hand for the violin, he can't quite get the grip down on the frets anymore.
Right.
So he really can't play the violin anymore,
Mhm.
but he can still do his clarinet. And,
Yeah. So you came from a musical family, and that influenced you. So
Mhm.
you became a performer yourself. Tell me about that. Tell me about your musical experience.
Well, I guess my mother thought it would be proper for all of us to have some music education, so we took some violin lessons, and I sort of expressed an interest in the piano. The little church across from which we grew up, they had no full-time sexton, and the members, and they might still do this, but the members would take a month, and that would be their month to clean the church.
Mm-hmm.
And I used to go with my father when he would go over, and he would let me play around on the little con organ that they have there. I think they still have it. And so I was always interested in keys and buttons and switches and things like that. So along with the violin lessons, I've expressed an interest in the piano, and we took them concurrently, and it became quickly clear that I was more interested in playing the piano than the violin. So that's where I took off, and my mother would play solos at our home church, which was St. John's Catholic Church, and whenever she came to practice with the organist, Mr. Swinderman, he would tell her to have me bring my piano pieces along, and he would let me play it on the big pipe organ at church. And I just, all little boys are fascinated by big machines like that.
Sure.
So the organ, was really fascinated me. So I took piano lessons up through 9th grade, and then I switched to organ lessons, and that's what I've done since.
Mm-hmm. And you have played, but you play other instruments.
Mm-hmm. Well, sort of.
Yeah. But you played, the piano has basically become, or the organ has basically become your career.
Mm-hmm. Oh, it sure has, yeah.
So you've played in a number of churches.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And you teach.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, I teach organ and music theory at McDaniel College and Carroll Community College.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm the director of traditional music at Grace Lutheran Church here in town.
Now, what does that entail?
We have 3 traditional services on the weekend, and I play the organ for all of them. And then I also conduct an adult vocal choir, a handbell choir, and a children's choir and a youth choir.
Well, sounds like you're pretty busy.
Yeah, 4 choirs and 3 services a weekend. So it is pretty busy.
Yeah, a lot of practicing.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And you, for a number of years, played in other community bands in the area. Now, can you talk about that a little bit?
Right. Well, as a kid, we were all involved with the William F. Myers and Sons band, and I was a banner carrier. And as I got a little bit older, I wanted to experiment with some percussion instruments, so I played bass drum and cymbals and things like that. And then I later joined the Westminster Municipal Band and playing cymbals, and I tried the glockenspiel for a while, and I wanted to try something new. And the band president at the time, George Arball, had said, he said, well, we have an old alto horn in the closet, an old peck horn they called it. So I tried it, and I learned the valvings and everything. It took me a while to develop my chops. I already knew how to read music, obviously, but so through trial and error, I sort of taught myself how to play this alto horn, and so now I try to make as many gigs as I can playing the peck horn. And my wife and I just recently had a baby, so I'm spending a little bit more time at home with them. But yeah, so I play the alto horn a little bit, just enough to have fun.
Now your wife also plays. She's
a flautist, and she plays guitar as well, and she's a vocalist. And she was a music minor in college, so she's also in the Westminster band.
Now, after high school at Westminster, where did you go to college?
I went to Towson State University, which is now Towson University.
Music major?
Okay. Yeah, I was a music major. I started out as music education, and I was really, I don't know, I felt more called towards performance than full-time secondary education. So I took the plunge, and I changed my major, and I've been able to make it work. So just take it day by day here.
Sure.
But yeah, I went to Towson State, and I had won a Maryland Distinguished Scholar Award. So and it only applied to a state institution, and I could have applied to many schools, I guess, but I only applied to Towson because I knew the organ teacher, and I knew that I wanted to study there. So so I went to Towson for 4 years and major in music performance.
Well, that helps. It's nice to know the people you're going to be working with, and it's nice to be someplace where you're comfortable.
Right.
I mean, it's tough enough trying to learn everything you have to learn in an unusual environment.
Right.
So you're a new father.
Yeah.
Wow, exciting. That sort of turns your world around, doesn't it?
Yeah, it sort of does. Yeah, in good ways. Yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Now, do you expect that your child will eventually become a musician?
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
A lot of good influences. I suspect that your parents influenced you. Now, did you have brothers and sisters?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I have 2 brothers and a sister.
Okay. Did all of them?
Yeah, we all took lessons to a certain extent. My one brother was a clarinet player, and he was actually in the high school band, but he didn't continue on with that. My sister was a violinist, still is, I guess, but she has gone more towards singing. She is a cantor at their church. And my other brother took trumpet lessons, and he was in orchestra in high school, but he actually does performing on the mandolin in various bluegrass bands where he lives. So he's
no kidding.
So he's a mandolin player, but I'm the only one that went professionally with music.
And it became your career, livelihood. For those people who might view this and might be thinking about a career in music, what advice would you give them?
Make sure that you pick that one aspect of music that you really enjoy doing. Like I would say, don't go into education if you really don't like teaching. Performance is a scary life, but you can do it. You can do it if you have your heart set on it. So I would say, and then some people go into some new aspects of music, like music therapy, which requires a psychology degree. But so I would say, don't settle for a line of music, an area of music work that you might not be happy with. Just take the plunge and do what you want to do.
That's probably good advice for any career.
For any field, I hope so, yeah.
Yeah, pick something that you really like, that you feel that you're most suited for. Because if you're doing the things you enjoy and you get paid for it, it's almost like getting paid to play, which I guess is what you're doing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Have you seen a lot of changes in Carroll County from when you were a young boy?
Yeah, I certainly have.
What are the most profound changes that you can think of?
Well, for one thing, I'd say the sense of community has changed. I mean, I do remember a day when you could go to any grocery store or any restaurant, and you pretty much knew everybody that was in the restaurant, and it's almost a totally different town now. Honestly, I go around, and it's a rare thing when I run into somebody that I know. And geographical things, and I remember before the mall was built, and there was that big yellow barn up on top of the hill where Kmart, it's not Kmart anymore, Super Fresh, Michael's up there on top of the hill. There was just a big yellow barn, and that was the only thing on that side of the of the road. And interesting, my father spent a good portion of his life on the Stoner farm, which was on Cranberry Road. My grandfather was a farmhand, so they lived in a house on the Stoner farm, and his house was about where the Texas Roadhouse is now.
No kidding.
And he has boxes and boxes of slides of vast countryside, even before 140 was built.
Wow.
And I have to look at the slides with my father so he can orient me, because I really don't know where I'm looking, because it's all just rolling hills, which is now the mall and
developed.
The schools, and the development,
Wow.
So so we have a treasure trove of old pictures of the area that you just don't see anymore.
When you were a kid, I talked to a lot of people about historical things about the county. When you were a kid, do you remember the drive-in that used to be where Westminster High School is now?
No, I've only heard stories about that.
Yeah, so that was before your time. Yeah.
Well, if it was during my time, it was when I was very small. Do you want to hear more about my college experience?
Sure.
Because I went to Towson, but then I went to Westminster Choir College, which is a small music school, like a conservatory. It's in Princeton, New Jersey. And I went there from 95 to 97, and that's where I got a master's degree in organ performance.
Okay.
And then I came back to Westminster. I actually did a national job search, and I kind of thought, geez, do I want to come back to Westminster? But Mr. Swinderman is still living. He's at Carroll Lutheran Village.
Right.
My grandmother was still living at the time, and my parents still had the house. So I kind of felt called to come back and take care of some odds and ends. Of course, that was 12 years ago. And I worked at St. Paul's UCC on the corner of Green and Bond Street then. And then, so I worked for about 6 or 7 years, and I decided to go back to school to Peabody Conservatory in Baltimore, and then I got a second master's degree in music theory pedagogy.
Mm-hmm.
So, if
And
that
you-
information.
Sure.
Yeah.
That's great information.
Yeah.
And you've parlayed that into teaching at,
Mhm.
at McDaniel College
Yes,
and
I'm-
at community college. Yeah.
So I do, so I did wind up going into teaching to some extent, but
Mhm.
it's very part time.
Mhm.
I knew I didn't want the 7 o'clock in the morning till 7 o'clock at
Sure.
night.
You didn't want to do grade school.
Right,
or
yeah,
high
I didn't
school.
want to do that, yeah.
Sure.
But just these few music theory classes at college is
The college level's a little bit different.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
It is.
Now, how long have you been doing that, Ted? How long have you been teaching?
Since 2000, I started.
So for about 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
Have you noticed any difference in the caliber of students that are coming into school?
Yeah. Well, for one thing, there are more.
Okay.
Like at Carroll Community College, there were really only a few music courses offered back then,
Mm-hmm.
and there weren't that many students. But now, there are several of us teaching theory and musicianship, and so the number of students at the community college has grown. At McDaniel, the quality has increased.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I've had several organ students who have gone on to get master's degrees of their own in performance.
Oh, that's wonderful.
So, yeah.
Good.
I'm pleased with that development. Yeah.
So there's more students. Of course, that kind of goes with the territory. There's more people, so we anticipate more students.
Right.
But you're seeing an improved quality
Mhm.
in those students, better prepared, and more meaningful interest in music.
Right.
Mhm.
And it's gratifying because at one time, the really serious music students would go to a conservatory,
Mhm.
And I guess if you want to be a world-class performer, you do want to have names like Juilliard and Peabody on your dossier. But I'm pleased that some of the really quality musical students are coming to McDaniel and Carroll.
Mhm.
So
other than growth and development, is there anything else that you can say? And the change in the community, is there any other changes that you've seen in Carroll County since you were a child?
I guess everything would revolve around just the growth of community. I'm pleased to see that we have a wider variety of restaurant offerings. Now
Mhm.
we have Japanese and Chinese and even a few Indian restaurants, and because I like to sample different cuisines and
Sure.
so. But there again, that goes along with the community growth. Yeah.
Ted, you've just gotten to the point in your life where you've started your family, and it's an exciting time, and so you don't have a lot of experience with that yet. But if you had to offer, but you have been out on your own for a while, and you've gone through your education, and you've been working for a while, if you had some advice to give to a young person that's either graduating from high school or getting ready to graduate from college in whatever field, what advice would you give them? I mean, these are tough times now. It's not easy to get started. What advice would you give somebody?
Well, I would definitely say, and this would pertain to starting a family or otherwise, I would definitely say be a human sponge. Try to take in as many opportunities as possible now while you're young. Wait, I didn't get married till I was 31. So, I mean, I had done some high-class performances. I'd done a national competition. I just was really trying to live life
Sure.
and try to take in as many opportunities as I could. And now I'm ready to settle down,
Mhm.
knowing that I've done some of that stuff.
Right.
Whereas if you sort of, jump into family or jump into a career change, you might regret not having the opportunity to, to go after some things that you really want to. So I would say just, try for opportunities now.
Mhm.
You can always settle down later. Yeah.
That's good advice. Yeah. Let me ask you something. Since you are a musician, what do you normally advise your students to do as far as practice time? How much time should somebody rehearse?
Yeah, that's a good question, and that sort of varies depending on students' abilities. Some students really don't have to do too much preparation, and they can, come off with some pretty good results. I try to practice about 2 hours a day. So I guess it depends on the student. And some students have weaknesses in other areas. You know, some students need to work on rhythmic consistency, some students need to work on sight reading, you know, so it varies from student to student. So it's hard to really pinpoint a precise formula.
Right. But if you're not willing to commit to a certain amount of time to do the work,
oh yeah,
it's probably not the area that you want to go into.
Right. And I think a student will know that. I think if they want it bad enough, they will put in the correct amount of practice to pull off a performance that they'll be pleased with. But if they're, you know, nonchalant about their practice time and they don't really care about a good performance versus a bad performance, then I think that they'll figure out quickly that that might not be their field.
Any other stories that you can think of? Any other family stories or things of growing up in Carroll County?
Growing up in Carroll County. Of course, there's Huffman's Ice Cream. We always used to go to that, and it's still there.
Yes, it is.
And same with Bogger's Restaurant. I think they're tied for longevity here.
That's not a bad thing.
Yeah, that's not that's not a bad thing. That's right. Yeah, I'm just trying to think of some other. Because we grew up out in the country, I mean, we came into Westminster for serviceable items like the grocery store, so I didn't really spend a lot of time in town. But out there in the country, pretty much the center of our world was Zion United Methodist Church, and their big dinner every year brought out a lot of people. So.
Now, what did your family do for entertainment? Did you do family things other than the church? Did you?
The William F. Myers and Sons Band, we did that.
Yeah.
I'm reminded of a story that my family took us they took us to Pizza Hut and a movie.
Okay.
And my parents lectured us about how we should, you know, behave and settle down, and you know. Well, we went to Pizza Hut, and my mother spilled the pitcher of Coke all over the floor. And then we went to the movies, and my father upset the popcorn bucket. So that's kind of a funny story from my past. So we just didn't really do things as a family all that often.
So your parents didn't set a very good example that night in how to behave.
It was only an accident.
I'm sure.
Yeah, and we really only took about 2 or 3 family vacations, and one was to Old Tucson, Arizona. So we we actually got into a plane and flew somewhere.
That must have been exciting, though.
Yeah. And we all came back alive and everything.
Wow. Did you like Tucson?
Yeah, what I can remember of it.
Yeah.
I just remember it was hot and dry.
I bet. Yeah, not like Carroll County. No humidity.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
So.
Okay, any final thoughts?
No, I think that's about all I have to offer. Yeah.
Well, Ted, I want to thank you so much for coming in today.
Oh, it's my pleasure.
Your story.
It's an honor to be singled out here.
Oh, it's very interesting. It's nice to know we're catching some history from the 70s and the 80s in Carroll County, and great advice for somebody starting out. I really like the fact that you said pick something that you know you're going to like. And you're more liable to do that well than if you pick something that you know you don't care for very much.
Even if it means you're going to spend a time having to borrow money, or you know, even if it means you're going to be destitute for a short time. Once you catch on, if you really want it bad enough, you'll be able to make a career.
Yeah, great advice.
So,
well, thanks a lot.
all right, you're welcome.